I want to do something. Now that enough time has gone by with this entire Epstein conflict, I want to look at some of the, what I think to be best excuses / explanations as to why the public has not gotten their hands on information that they've been clamoring for years, even though there's an administration, the Trump administration, that has blatantly told a bunch of people that they would be very transparent with them. And as of last night, I'm recording this on Wednesday, as of last night, we find out that they voted to not be transparent with a bunch of people, because I think this conversation is very interesting in the realm of transparency and trust. Put a pin in that, because we'll come back to it later.
If you're a Republican, if you're the GOP, I mean, the big, beautiful bill was just passed. Even though the deficit is going to escalate from 3.3 trillion to over 5 trillion, assuming you believe the Congressional Budget Office and all of this other stuff. I mean, with all of these things that's going on, with the 2017 tax cuts reserved, with so much stuff that's going on that the left didn't want to happen, that you on the right said you wanted to happen, with the borders being closed, supposedly that being handled, with migrants being escorted out of this country in droves, according to you, and what you wanted, you're in an uproar off the Epstein list? That's all you've got? It's really, really surprising that this matters. Of course, I think there's a list, but I don't know. I suspect, but I have no knowledge, nor do I care. It's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out and enjoy myself. I'm getting ready to have a nice weekend. I could give a damn about the Epstein client list. This has no effect on me whatsoever. I have a life. I don't understand for the life of me why this matters so much to these. I'm talking about people losing it. They're crying on camera. They're talking about resignations. They're pissed off about everything. I'm like, really? With all the stuff going on in this country, with all the power that you possess because of the cachet and the influence you have because of your connection to this administration, that's why you upset at Trump? I didn't blame Trump one bit for looking at them and saying, really? That really matters to you? That's really that important? Now, maybe he had a different reason for saying it, trying to be evasive or whatever. I don't know. But I do know this. In the grand scheme of things, it ain't going to affect the lives of over 2 to 300 million Americans. No. I think we'll be just fine without knowing whether or not there was really a client list. I think we'll be okay. It's unbelievable that this is a big deal to me. It really is.
Mr. Smith, you are someone who I have watched for a number of years. And on the gimmick of you being someone who talks about almost anything now, it's very interesting that in a subject matter that millions of people care about, you're the one championing the idea, oh, I got stuff to do. I got things to worry about. I'm going to enjoy my Friday. When I know for a fact, if the subject matter has to do about LeBron turning you out to be nothing more than a bitch, or anything that has to do with racial discrimination or injustice, you will be one of the first people to galvanize a group of black journalists to sit down at a table and speak for a long time about those issues. Why is that? Because you care. And imagine someone in the moment seeing you very passionate about something you care about and saying, oh, I don't care. I got something to do. Oh, it's a Friday. Oh, it's a Saturday. Oh, it's a Sunday. Oh, I just don't care about that. You would be a little bit miffed and a lot of bit pissed off. Why? Because you would want other people to care about this. And you know, talking about racial issues and how good or impactful they are is important. As much as a lot of people want to dismiss it or try to play a game around it or try to fake something so that they could galvanize their own racial grift, it's important to talk about. You know what else is important to talk about? Information around a ring of people doing harm to children and how it seems as if a lot of people are covering it up because it creates that trust being broken by a bunch of people who are clamoring for it and the people who claim that they were going to be transparent about it. So no, Mr. Smith, you can't just sit there and brush it off as, oh, I got things to do. It doesn't affect me, because there's millions of things happening throughout the day that don't affect you personally. When you turn around and make this excuse, get ready for it to fall back on you.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government.
Mr. Kirk, you are a very interesting one because you make up a lot of other people in your political movement who galvanized the troops around this subject matter, who spoke very passionately about how this was nothing more than the lizard people, the Democrats, the dirty Democrats, and how they operate behind closed doors. And now that it's gone the different route that makes a lot of people out to be schizophrenic conspiracy theorists, now it's, I trust my government. I trust the people that are in my government because I know them. I believe in them and they wouldn't lie to me. I'm going to let them deal with this. If they were to deal with it, if they were to see something of this, and they've been broadcasting how transparent they would be, they've been broadcasting how truthful they would be. They would talk about how, oh, this is on my desk. Oh, this is on my desk. If you think I didn't have this information, would I lie to you? They've been in front of your face, not really providing the best amount of trust that would inspire a bunch of people to believe their words, especially since they've promoted all of these random theories about this Epstein list. They've made it to where this is something to talk about. And now that the Senate, the House, and the presidency is run by nothing but conservatives, Republicans, MAGA, whatever you want to call them, it's time to be transparent. And when you turn around and say, oh no, there's really nothing there, and we're not going to show you anything, and we're going to vote to not show you anything, it creates that distrust to where, no, you wouldn't be able to trust your friends in the government, especially, and this is a question for anyone who may disagree with you. I come to you in good faith with this question. If it were, instead of a team full of Trump administrative, Biden administrative, would you say you trust the government? Would you say that you trust their word? If the answer is yes, congratulations. You've caught me, and I have nothing else to say to you because you know what? At least you're consistent. If the answer is no, and you give me a long list of reasons, I would like for you to sit down at the table so that we could talk about your hypocrisy. But we'll do that at another time because we have another excuse/explanation.
Okay, right. That is the thing that they are saying, not I. They are saying this. If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying. Because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me. I know Kash Patel a little bit. I don't think Kash Patel is lying to me. I don't think these people are lying to me. Which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence at this point.
For the moment, it seemed like Ben was the only one who had the right sentence structure. He made it a point to say, hey, now that we have this out, now that they've officially said nothing of note is really here for any of you, it's now on you, if you're one of the diehards who believed in this, to find out the truth. The problem Ben, I think, still has not really mapped out with his sentence is that, hey, you can't do that because in order for you to find out the truth, you would actually need the accessibility that the people in the White House have, that the FBI has, that the DOJ has, and they're not just going to give it to a random TikTok journalist or a YouTuber. So a bunch of people are shit out of luck. But I find it interesting that Ben is now going the route of my source this and my source that and my source this and my source that.
I also have sources in the federal government.
How could one believe you in your source when it could just be brought out through the public? Because it wasn't a bunch of puppet masters telling everyone, hey, we're going to be transparent. It was all of these people. They said that they were going to be the most transparent group of people to ever be in control of the government. And you know what? Dangling them keys and talking about how good they're doing with immigration, and that's it, is not really going to satiate a bunch of people. They want their transparency and they're not getting it, and they're very upset. And you telling them to dig their nose in the ground and find some dirt is not really going to be something that creates that trust. It's just going to create a lot of distrust. You see people at all of these conservative-led events doing peer review surveys on if they feel as though this is satisfied, and they're not satisfied by this. Now, will that completely change the structure around MAGA and conservatives? Personally, I don't think so, because any other instance where we've seen dysfunction with conservatives, they've somehow swept it under the rug and stand in lockstep with each other, with the big beautiful bill, with H-1Bs, with Trump and Elon breaking up from their gay relationship right as Pride Month was coming on. We've seen these people crack, and they somehow hide all the cracks and stand in lockstep have. And personally, I feel as though it will happen again here. But the only thing that I could think could make me wrong in that subject matter is seeing people continue to put their foot on the neck of these people, because it wasn't a bunch of random people on the sidewalk saying we're going to tell the truth about this. It was the people in suits. It was the people who you voted for. It was the people that got put in these positions of power that told you we're going to be transparent with you. And now they're not being transparent with you. And there's one more person who I want to put in front of your face who has had some of the worst responses to this entire thing.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
Mr. President Trump, you are a very interesting individual, because if you were somebody who had a reliable team around you, they would be telling you to shut your mouth or go on to the next question or not even answer anything in regards to this, because the more you speak about it, the more you make it worse. The more you post on your own social media platform, the more you make it worse. The more you sit there and be visibly agitated by people asking you legitimate questions about something everyone knows your name is in, regardless of what anyone says. Oh, but if it was in there, the Democrats would have really... We already know his name and various other names are in it. That's not a secret. That wasn't a bombshell. When these people were holding up these binders, that wasn't a bombshell, and all of them conveniently never brought it up. I wonder why. So enough of the, if the Democrats wanted to, they would have, because we already know his name is in there. So that's not really a get out of jail free card that you cashing in. But watching Trump answer these questions, be visibly irritated, say it's a Democratic hoax is really interesting, because it creates that shaky ground that people could use against him repeatedly, up until he's not the president anymore in 2028, because it'll get at him, because he helped manufacture and grow this monster. Did he create it? I'm going to say no, because this Epstein conspiracy thing was a thing while he wasn't the president. It was molded and created and mutated by a bunch of people with microphones just like the one I'm talking into, cameras just like the one I'm speaking into, looking you in your eyes, and they were the ones proclaiming that this was a real thing that people needed to investigate. Some people even said if you vote for Trump, you will be able to get the information because they'd be very transparent with you. And now they have egg on their face, or they're in positions where they could be in the White House saying, oh, there's really nothing for us to look at here. And it creates that level of, again, mistrust and lack of transparency. And this is where I want to pull that pin out. You spend all this time letting people know that you're going to be a group of people who leave everyone informed and satisfied with everything that they want. You told these people you were going to fix this thing, that thing, and a third thing. And a lot of people will sit here and say, oh, they're doing it, so what's really the problem? It's when you finally realize that there are moments where you could look at your administration and praise them to the nines in whatever it is that you see fit, whether they be Republican administration, Democratic, it'll never be a third party, so you could just give that up and you could be satisfied. But those moments where they don't help you or they lead to lie to you is what you will remember more. Throughout the next few years, there's going to be people who bring up the good this, good that, good finances, good structure, good border, good all these things. But there will be those people who will remember this moment and they will feel slighted. Will they feel slighted enough to change how they feel politically? No, but they will feel as though they've been lied to and that they cannot fully trust an administration that they were proud to vote for at one time. And all that does to me is put a smile on my face, because I told you putting trust in politicians is probably the dumbest thing you could ever do. They're paid to lie to you, and you may not notice it because they're just that good at hiding it from you. But in the meantime, I would love to know what you think about this whole Epstein thing. Do you care? Do you not care? Does it not even interest you? Does it not even bother you? Do you care about a group of people potentially hiding the fact that they go to an island to eat the blood of a bunch of children? Or do you believe Mountain Dew actually makes your dick small? Because since we're going the route of conspiracy theories today, that's the one I wholeheartedly still believe in, and I haven't drank Mountain Dew since 2008. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Goodbye.